Hey guys, welcome back to another video today. Today we have a special video, different than, what I would normally make, but in my Minecraft realm, I have decided that I want to build a gold farm, mainly because I need a lot of blackstone for my base build, and piglins can trade you blackstone. And so I decided I'll build a whole farm so I can farm it instead of having to go into the basalt deltas and mine it all. And you get everything else as a perk with that, along with plenty of gold blocks. So this design that I have has way more than enough storage. All of this is for gold blocks. All of this section is for gold blocks. This little section's for rotten flesh, which might seem like a lot for rotten flesh, but I imagine if I ever have what is it, the Mason villager, that one of them trades rotten flesh. So, can't have enough of that. And then we have all of this for all the piglin barters over here. Um, and yeah, so the way that this will work, this has to be built on the nether roof, but I built it in the overworld because it's just easier. So this like exact machine right here doesn't actually work right now because there's no piglins in here. So, um, but I'm going to build it on another roof, and then it'll actually work, and I can show you guys exactly how it works. So we're going to kind of work through it all. I've gone through each layer Y level by Y level, because when you're standing on the nether roof, the first Y level is Y128. And I've gone through and I've counted and calculated everything that goes on each layer. So I'll just kind of pan down this, and then if you're ever confused or you're missing a block, you're like, where did that get placed? You can see exactly where that ended up. Over here, this is like all the totals counted up, but that's kind of hard to read. So this is all of the materials that you'll need for this whole farm. Um, it's a lot. And honestly, if you wanted to build this with less chests, you totally could. You don't need this many chests. My goal when I built this farm was to make it as compact as possible because I thought it would look cool to have, very compact redstone. And so then I was like, oh, what do I do at the base? I'll just have chests go all the way around. So this is way more chests than you'll probably actually need for this, but, it's good. And if you're gonna build this in survival and you want to see all the materials that need for this, because obviously like each hopper takes a chest, and these are just the chests for storage, not let alone the hoppers for there. This, I'm pretty sure, I tried calculating it, is all of the like raw materials that you'll need to build all of this. So including my inventory down here, for the little bits and pieces. And these can be any building blocks. I just chose nether bricks because I thought they looked cool. So really quick, I'll give a rundown of kind of very basic how the machine works. Um, and we'll go into a little more depth as we go. And as we go and I build it in the nether, I'll isolate each component with like a different color of building block. So I won't use nether brick the whole time, just so I can keep each system separate and show you guys what they're all doing. So first of all, this is our piglin killing chamber. Up above, when I build this in the nether, it'll have all of the spawning platforms, and the zombie piglins will fall down here to their deaths. And I actually have four, different hopper lines. So depending on where the piglins fall and which hopper collects their items, it'll change um, which crafter their things get sent to. So all of these are separate hopper lines just to get us over here. And that way these crafters are crafting as fast as possible. As the items come through, it'll sort through these. Piglins can drop gold nuggets, gold ingots, and rotten flesh. And since I have 4 different transportation lines, I had to build sorters for each of those. So for the second line, here's the gold ingots and flesh, and so on and so forth. So each one of these is just a sorting system for its own line. All of the ingots are what are getting transported over here. So the ingots come down here, they get put in the crafters, and those will be crafted into gold blocks. And this is where we get into the two different parts of this machine. So there's a lever here, and when you if it's off by default. And so what happens is the gold ingots that get crafted here get brought down. They go down this hopper, down, down, into another set of crafters, and these crafters are turning them into gold blocks. And then those gold blocks get brought down and put into the storage system here and around the corner. But if I flick this lever, then it will instead, these crafters still work. They're still making the gold ingots. But then they activate this hopper line, and now the hoppers are going to come this way, and they're going to get put into this machine here. And what this machine is just a giant piglin trading system. So you can see there will be piglins in these little containers when I build this in the nether. And there's a redstone clock here. It's perfectly timed the gold to come out right when the piglins are done trading. So the piglins will be in here, they'll be trading, they'll get the gold, and then they'll spit out whatever their trade is. These hoppers will pick that up, and then immediately another piece of gold will be dispensed. This hopper line and this crazy contraption in the front, what it does is, this is Ilmango's design for equally distributed like hoppers, and so all this does is it equally distributes the gold ingots between these. And then obviously this hopper chain collects all of the piglin barters, and it just gets brought over here to the start of the sorting system for all of the piglin barter trades. And then over here, these chests are completely overflow. If gold blocks overflow, they'll come here. If the piglin barters overflow, they'll come here. Everything, well, these are like emergency overflow chests. The only thing that won't overflow is rotten flesh when these chests fill up. Instead of going this way and then being put in the emergency chest, if I have this full of rotten flesh, I do not need to be saving it in emergency overflow chests. So I just have it coming right over into the garbage dump. And so if we throw some nuggets in there, this will just spit out all your garbage. And what's nice is that wow, that's annoying. Let me turn that off. So what's nice is that the rotten flesh will obviously be burned immediately. All of this will get burned, but like if I start burning gold blocks, or like, oh, I'm full on string and then my string started burning over here, something I might care about, there's a warning light at the very front, this light, and this says if this is on, then there's a chest that is full and overflowing. And all this is really doing is it's just detecting if the garbage machine has been activated. So if anything has been dumped, then it sends a line down here and turns that lamp on. And so that way, when I'm AFKing or I'm coming to check my farm, I always know if I have something that's overflowing or not, based on if this light is on. And if it is on, then I have to go and find the chest, figure out which one's overflowing, and then flicking that resets the light. So now the light is off, saying I found the leak and I completed it. So the first step to building this farm is to get onto the nether roof. There's a lot of tutorials out there on how to break this or how to get up there. You can either break the bedrock using some glitchy piston stuff and TNT, or I think you can pearl clip through the bedrock and then build a portal once you're up here. So however way you decide to get up here it will work. You just have to be on the nether roof. And then you want to be in a nether wastes biome. So another waste biome up here. To start, first layer, we're going to build the spot where our redstone lamp is going to go. And it'll go like that. That's our overflow warning light. Then going this way, you want 5 sets of double chests. So 5 going this way, and these are all going to be 4 tall. And then we're gonna have hoppers that go into these, but for right now I'm just gonna block off all of these. And then your next set of chests, I have them sticking out one. If you wanted to build the wall so that then they were covered like this, that's fine, but this side's kind of my junk side anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So going this way, I have another set of 11 chests to store the gold. And again, these are also going to be stacked up to be 4 high. And this is definitely the area if you wanted to trim down on some chests. Like, this section is probably enough gold storage on its own. And so you could remove as many of these as you want. So, kind of personal preference there. Next, you're going to build a little wall to separate these gold chests from where you'll have your 6 rotten flesh chests. So again, these are all doubles, and I have them going 4 high. Okay. And then on the other side over here, we're going to have all of our Piglin barter chests. So you need 18 rows of chests. So next, I'm going to build up, just finish building this front wall. Just across like this. And at this height right here, this is where our bartering sign is going to go. And so you'll have a lever that goes there, and then your 2 signs go there. And I had another row on top just to make that look nice and clean. And then over here, we want 3 more set of double chests. These are our emergency overflow chests. Again, maybe not super necessary if you're trying to cut down on some costs here. And obviously, every chest you eliminate are going to eliminate some of the hoppers that you need as well. Then we have this section going across. And we have our little lava dispenser here. So I put those at the bottom. Then we're going to want our dropper for our garbage can to be facing down this way. And your lava goes there. So there's that. Okay, so along the top, I actually used stairs. Just so then you can kind of see up there. I don't know, I thought it looked cool. But in here, we actually need this space for some redstone. So we have to leave a 3x3 area behind the dropper available. Which does unfortunately make this look a little bit worse. So I ended up building, I wish that this could be flush with this, but it is what it is. So at the back of the dropper, you want to run a comparator into a repeater, and then another repeater, and then fill in the other spots here with redstone dust. And now it should work if you put anything in here. See, I don't need that anymore. It burns that stair. On the front here, this is where our redstone lamp is going to go. But we can't quite place that yet, because right here, we're going to have a repeater facing this way into a block. And what this is for is our system to detect if the garbage disposal has gone off. So it's just a hopper with any item in it. A dropper with any item facing into a hopper. And then the reason that we have to have this powered is so that then the hopper is locked. And so as soon as, when this redstone goes off, it'll power the dropper here. And then it'll put the item in the hopper. So let's throw away our lever. So now the item is in the hopper. So out of the back of this hopper, we want a comparator. It's just going to read if that has gone off, and have that comparator go into a block. Underneath that block, put a redstone dust into a repeater, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 redstone dust, another repeater, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more redstone dust, and then have that go right onto there. And on the front, just place a sign giving some instructions on how to do that. Next, going into every single set of chests. Going into every chest, you want to shift click and click on the back of every single chest. And you want to make sure they're all flowing into these chests. That's super important. So into every single one of these, you want the hoppers facing in. And you're going to do that for all the chests around the entire thing. So once you're done, it should look something like this, having all those hoppers go into the backs of these chests. On the back of our lamp here, we just want to place a torch there, and this will still be able to power that on and off. And above this, above the torch, we're going to place a block and a torch, and then another block and another torch. And we'll come back to that later when we're getting to the crafting system. On the back of each of these sections, on your 18 hoppers going this way, we're going to build our sorting system out the back. So the way this is going to work is I'll build it in the middle so that you can see super clearly. You're going to go out 3 blocks, down 1 like this, a block here, and a block here. So this is the shape, and you're going to build it behind all of these hoppers. But it's probably easiest if you do this block first, because you have to place a repeater going into it. So I'm just going to go along here and place all my repeaters. And these last 3 chests do not need a sorting system, so you only need to go up to this one. It should be 15 long, so it should be 15 going this way. So there's all our repeaters. And then you also need torches along here, so I'm going to fill in these blocks and place redstone torches on the faces of all of these. So there's all our torches. Now we're good to go ahead and finish filling in the rest of these blocks. Okay, so now I've covered all that up. On the back of each of these is going to be a comparator. And then all the tops up here, you're going to fill in with redstone dust. Just like that. And then you're going to want to come over here and you're going to click into each of the comparators to see how the hopper is going into the comparator. It's not going down into these hoppers. You want them facing into each comparator, going along this whole way. So there's our row going like that. And in each one of these, you're going to place the item that you're going to sort. On the front of all of these, you're going to want to place, I like the glow item frames. I think they add a little bit of extra pop. You can use regular item frames. That's totally fine. And the order that these go in can be completely up to you. So you'll want to look at the Piglin trades and just make sure that you have all of the blocks that they can possibly give you. And for each one of these, if they're a stack of 64 items, what you're going to do is come to the hopper that you just placed, the ones that are going into the comparators, very top hopper, and you're going to fill in these, and then you can just put a stack here and it'll auto sort down, but you're going to get down to where there's 41 left in this slot. So you can see it'll sort down to 41, and the rest of that blackstone got sorted down into our chest here. And then the 41 will stay here, so it'll never go into your storage unit. And you're going to do that if it's a stack of 64, like string is stackable by 64, so you'll place 4, and then you can just let this autofill down to 41, or just place 41. Ender pearls are, I believe, the only item in this machine that are stackable to 16. So again, you're going to place 4, but then you can just put the rest here. It's going to fill down to 7. So just because they have different little signal strengths. And then obviously everything will funnel down into the bottom down here. Enchanted boots, fire resistance, and soul speed books. These last 3, obviously we did not set up a sorter for them. And all that means is just that these are non-stackable items, so they can't be sorted through a machine like this. So anything, if they come through here, they're just going to get dumped off into these chests and then into the overflow chests over here. So these are not going to be exactly sorted. Like there's going to be fire res in this row, soul speed in this row. So these are kind of all just the same. I just have 3 chests here so I can have an item frame to show all the possible items that could go into these chests. And again, for each item, if I think the rest of these are all stackable by 64, you're going to go into the hoppers and place 4, and then you can just let this sort down to 41. And you're going to do that for all of the items going across. Okay, once you're done, all of your comparators should be lit up. They should all be at power 2, and everything should funnel down. All the extras, if you had any extra, should funnel down and start to fill the chest up from bottom to top here. Next, we're going to go along and place our hoppers that are going to run the items across. So to start, you're going to place one going down into our first sort of overflow chest, and then these are you're going to place into that one, and then you're going to go all the way across down here. Just like that. And then going this way, I'm going to build into this hopper and then place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more going this way. This is the entrance of where our Piglin barters will enter from, and so it's just going to bring it across, and then that way it checks all of the chests going across. Sorry, excuse me. This one above our last chest, or our first overflow chest, this hopper is going to end up going that way. So this one is the one that you want to go down, and that's our chain that comes across like this. Then into our dropper, we want to have one chest go, or one hopper go straight down into the dropper, one coming in from that side, and then an array of hoppers flowing that way. So that's the way it should go. This should go down, and then the hoppers come this way, and it'll check all of these chests and our overflow chests first, and then if all of our overflow chests are full, then it'll take it over here and be dumped into the garbage. While we're here, we can start to set up the line for all the other overflows. So we're going to want another hopper going in there to check for our overflow. We're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 hoppers going this way. The hoppers for our rotten flesh, they're going to be brought across here, but like I said, I don't want it to go into the overflow chests. If for some reason you do care, then you'll want your rotten flesh, the overflow, to be taken this way, and then it'll get checked into these chests. I don't want my rotten flesh to go to those overflow chests. If all of these fill up with rotten flesh, I just want it to go into the dump. So I'm going to have the hopper facing this direction and go down into the garbage. So then I'll have my line of hoppers across the rotten flesh here to bring that across. Then we need our transport rail to transport our gold blocks around. I do want these. If somehow all of these are filled with gold blocks, then yeah, I want to check our overflow chests over here. So I'm going to have this hopper go directly here, and then it'll follow along into our overflow chests. And then you're going to bring this line of hoppers around and go across the top of all of these chests for our gold blocks. Just like that. So they go all straight down, and then here they skip past the rotten flesh and get brought over here to go and check for the overflow. If all that's full, then it'll still get brought to the garbage. On the front of these chests, you can go ahead and label these. There's a rotten flesh storage. This is gold storage, all of this. And right here at the front, this is gold storage. So next I'm going to start building the Piglin bartering chambers. To do this, you're going to build some hoppers coming out here. And just like this. And then you'll go every other. So I'll go one in, and then we'll skip this one, have a hopper going there, down the line, skip this one, hopper there, and you want 5 of these. Just like that. Okay, your piglins are going to stand on these ones that come out. So on top of each of these, and surrounding them. You don't have to use glass if you don't want to. I just think it's cool to be able to see the piglins. And then facing into all these right here, you're going to have a dropper on top of each of these blocks. Fill in between the hoppers with your building block of choice. And then at the back of the droppers, you're going to have a hopper coming in and a hopper coming into that one, just like this. So the bottom ones are facing into the droppers. These ones are going down into those hoppers. As far as getting your piglins up here, obviously, like, there's not going to be any mobs up here. You'll want to create a spawning platform out of spawnable blocks, like netherrack, for example. Making sure you're in this nether waste biome. And then when you make a big enough platform, eventually mobs will start to spawn, and you can make them, lead them up with boats and come and place them in here. Or if you're really dangerous, you could punch a pig, have them chase you up here, put trapdoors here or something, and have them all fall into the holes here. However you want to get your pigs up here, that's how you can get them to spawn. For me, I'm going to use spawn eggs and just... You want your 5 pigs in there, and once you have them in there, you can go ahead and cover them up. Then we need to build the line of hoppers that's gonna bring all the gold to our pigs. So you're gonna place a temporary block there, just to have a hopper facing into it, and then have a line of hoppers going all the way across there. And these, you can actually continue all the way down until it goes 1, 2, past where you have your sorting system here, and it should line up with your redstone torch. Next, we're going to build the clock that'll activate the droppers exactly every 6 seconds to dispense the gold to the piglins. And to do that, we're going to place 1 block in between your last 2 piglins, and place redstone dust going down and then across all of these. You can have it go into that one, but this powers that last dropper, so that's good enough. And then right next to it, on your second to last piglin, we're going to place a redstone block right here. We're going to have a piston there, in line with the glass here. And then we'll have a piston right there. Right there. In between your 3rd and 4th piglins. So that's where your pistons are going to go. Next to this gold block, we're going to place 2 hoppers. And you want them facing into each other like this. In those hoppers, we're going to put 9 items. As long as they're a stack of 64, this will work. For now, I'm going to take these out of here, just because this gets really loud with the pistons pushing and whatnot. But you're going to want 9 items in there. underneath each hopper, we want a comparator reading it, and then that comparator into a block, and that block, we want a redstone dust next to it, just like that. And then the same thing on the other side, we want a comparator reading our hopper, want that comparator going into a block, and then next to that block, we want a redstone dust to power this piston. And so you can see if we put our 9 items in here, this will push this across, and it'll be exactly in time with all of our Piglin trading. So you can see they have gold, they're going to throw their items up, they'll get picked up by the hoppers, and immediately they are dispensed another piece of gold to trade. So they'll throw their items, and then the droppers will dispense another piece of gold. Just like that. For right now, I'm going to destroy this piece of redstone so that these droppers aren't clicking the whole time that I'm building. But at the very end, we need to remember to put this redstone dust back. Otherwise, obviously, the clock won't work. Next, we need to build the mechanism that will evenly distribute the gold coming in down this hopper line into the 5 hoppers here. This is the part of the design that was made by Mango. I'll leave a link down to his video that I watched in the description if you're interested in watching that. Out of the hopper chain, we're going to place a block, and on top of the last 2 hoppers, we're going to place 2 more blocks. On this block, we're going to place a repeater. And then behind the repeater, we're going to place a block. And below that, we're going to have a comparator coming out this way. So this will read this hopper, and this comparator will light up when it detects something. Then up here, we're going to place a block like this with a redstone torch and redstone dust on the side like that. Along these 2 blocks, we're going to place redstone dust, and then on the next 2 hoppers, we're going to place more redstone dust. Then we're going to place 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, with a redstone torch on the first one, and redstone dust on the rest. And then redstone dust coming down into these, and you need to place 2 blocks this way. Next, on top of these 2 hoppers that have redstone on it, we're going to place a block and a slab, each also with redstone dust on them. Then you want to place a block on this hopper. Below it, we're going to place a repeater at 3 ticks. Behind this, you're going to place 2 blocks, and then come up 1, because we want to steal this signal from the torch. Power that repeater. That repeater we want to go into a block with redstone dust on it. Then we want 2 blocks, and this is super important. Below, we need this to be a glass block, and then you can have a regular block with redstone dust and a repeater set to 1 tick. And the reason this has to be glass is otherwise this would be powering this hopper, and it would mess up our sorting system. So it has to be glass so that it does not lock this hopper down here. This repeater is going to also go into a block. And then again, we want glass here, regular block. And this time, this second repeater needs to be on 2 ticks. And above each of these, we have blocks going through and redstone dust on the block there. And we're almost there. We need redstone dust here, a block with a repeater coming out of it on 1 tick, a block right above this, block beside this with redstone dust. Then you want to build up 1 and place a redstone torch on this block. And that should line up with our hopper that we placed a block on top of earlier. And that should be the entire sorting system. So if we have some gold and I throw it in here, you should see it should start to activate. You know, it'll start to configure itself there. And it'll start to sort our gold into our droppers. Even enough that it doesn't really matter. I apologize. I said that I was going to build each system out of different colored blocks that you could see the whole thing and see each system separately. So I just went through and changed the colors of these blocks. The timer and the dropper system, remember, still missing the redstone right there to turn that on. And then the gold separation system I did in the warp bluish green here. Next, we're going to build the crafter system that'll craft our nuggets into ingots and ingots into blocks. So starting at the very front of our gold storage, you're going to have a hopper going down into that one, and then a hopper facing into there, and then you're going to place 3 more going this way. So 4 hoppers total going into this one. Above each of these, and build some temporary blocks here. We're going to place our crafters, and you need them facing down with the little face facing down into these. Behind each crafter, you're going to have a row of 4 blocks by 4 blocks. Out the back of each crafter is a comparator, and then you can fill in the rest of this with redstone here. Then you're going to build up like this and place slabs at this height, replacing this one, this slab as well. And then same thing up here, we're going to have slabs at this height, and then we're going to bring the blocks all the way back to our crafters. And we're going to place redstone on all of these as well. And redstone on our crafters. So you're going to place hoppers going into each crafter, hoppers going down, and then this should line up perfectly with our chain from earlier. And you're going to have these hoppers going to the side this way into our Piglin bartering system. And then the system is the exact same as before. It's going to be offset by 1 block though. So we're going to have these temporary blocks to place our crafters against. So we'll place our crafters. And then coming out the back of each crafter is 4 by 4 blocks. A comparator coming out of each crafter. Then filling the rest of this in with redstone dust. Just as we did before, we're going to have a row of slabs come out the back. And on top of this, another row of slabs coming this way. And then 3 more blocks. And you're going to cover everything up here in redstone, just like we did below. And now this set of crafters is done. And you're going to have a row of hoppers going into each one of them, and 2 hoppers coming down at each of them, just like that. Next, we're going to work on the switch to change this from trading to making gold blocks. I replaced these with yellow just to show the pattern that this is a separate system. So I'll do this in yellow. You're going to place another block on top of your redstone torch, and then place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks going this way. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks going this way. And then you're going to build up 1 and have this go right into this block that we placed earlier. And it should line up perfectly with the other system from before. So along this whole section, we're going to place a redstone dust. And then on this last one, we're going to place a repeater into a redstone torch. And then this redstone torch is going to come straight over. And then it's going to go into a repeater there as well. And lastly, we're going to have a hopper coming down into this block, and then next to that block. We're going to have a hopper going into this system, and then we're going to build up 2, just like that. And then we're going to have 6 hoppers going this way. Just like that, 2 wrap around. And then this hopper chain is going to come over that block, just like that. Now we're really in the home stretch here. So the last system that we need to build is the sorting system where the piglins will fall and to their deaths. And then we sort out their items between gold nuggets, gold ingots, and rotten flesh. So to get to our rotten flesh line, we're going to come in line with our rotten flesh hopper, and we're going to build up 2. We're going to build 4 out from this one, and then we're going to go up, place 2 more, then you'll have 3 more coming this way, and then straight out this way, we're going to build out a whole bunch. This part is optional, but along here, in my build, I just had item frames going across to show what was being sorted in each spot. And the order that these are going to be sorted in will go gold nuggets, ingots, flesh. Nuggets, ingots, flesh. And then this section is a little bit different. It's going to have to go nuggets, flesh, ingot, and then back to normal. Nuggets, ingot, flesh. So this middle section, you can kind of think of these in groups of 4. So there's the first group, second group, third group, and fourth group. The third group has its ingots and flesh swapped just because the hoppers, it makes it a little easier to reach them. Hi, dear. Wow, that looks crazy. You're beautiful. So this line going across is for our rotten flesh. So any of them that have rotten flesh, we're going to have hoppers that just come right down straight into this line. That's where our rotten flesh is going to go. On this last one, you're going to build up into the side. And for the other rotten flesh, we're going to do the same thing. Just have 1 more up and going into the side of each of them. Next, we're going to build the iron ingot line. So you're going to come up to this block next to our yellow one, build up 1, go over 1, 2, 3, feed into that hopper, and go 1, 2, 3, feed into that hopper, and then go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we need to be able to get to this ingot here. So we're going to build him a little path, just like that. On top of each ingot, in line with the hoppers that are going in, we're going to build 1 hopper going down on that ingot. This ingot, we need to place a hopper there so that it stays in line, then a hopper going down, and on this ingot, a hopper going down. Then at the end, on top of our hopper that goes out for our rotten flesh, we're going to build up 1, 2 more, place a temporary block, and build a hopper into that, just like that. And I'm going to bring these temporary blocks all the way over here and put hoppers facing into all of them, because this is where our sorting system will start. You can actually place it below this one, because we're going to need a block there later. Next, we're going to fill up these hoppers for our iron ingot lines, so all the ones that line up with our ingots, we're going to build up. And same thing with our rotten flesh. Just go up like that. Now you should look like this. with all of these hoppers facing in that way. Now we can build our sorting system. So starting out from here, I'm going to place blocks all the way around and then place comparators in front of each of these. Here, I'm going to place a block right above my head if I'm standing here, or if not, it's just, down from that. Come along here and place redstone torches along each of these blocks. Next, we're going to place a temporary block here, come down one, and this is the row where our repeaters are going to go. Just like that. Place a block behind all the repeaters and bring that all the way out. And then place 2 more blocks along the top of all this. And cover the entire top in redstone. And you should look like this. Should be 12 long to match all our items from below. And it's the exact same system that we used down here to sort our Piglin barters. Now we're going to go along and match up with the items that are supposed to go in each one. So this, remember the pattern goes ingots, nuggets, rotten flesh, for all of them except the third compartment. So you're going to fill it up, just like that. And then this third one, still nuggets first, but then it's rotten flesh, then ingots. And this last one is the same as before. Nuggets, ingots, rotten flesh. So the pattern matches this. It's the same throughout, except for this set of 3 right here. These ones are switched. So once you have that, it should auto-sort everything down except for your nuggets, because we haven't built the lines for the nuggets yet. And these lines are going to come and meet up with each of these crafters over here. We need to build up 1 more on each of them, and then build out 4 for each direction. Just like this. Coming out of this bottom one, this first row, we're going to build out 1, 2, 3. This next row is going to go 3 in, then up, 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 and into this line. So it should look like this. Your next row is going to be in, then up, up, up for 3, in. So you can start to see the paths that are being created here. That falls that way. This one is going to come here. And then lastly, we need to do 1 more and have 1 that goes in, and then 3 up, and then in here. We're going to have these come in each by 2, just like that. And we've reached our first nugget line, and all I have to do is connect it like that, and now it'll start sorting down. This one we're going to bring along this way, and I need to get in here. We're going to build into that hopper, and then that way. Let's escape. So it should look like this, and then place a hopper going down into that, and now this one will start to drain. Then we'll bring it this way. Just to keep it compact, I'll have it go here, there, and then into that hopper. Just like this. And a hopper there, and this one will start to drain as well. And lastly, we need to bring this line. It's going to follow the edge of the previous ones. Come over here, and it should look like this. And now this one will start to drain. So this line comes down. I'll just kind of do a walk flyover real quick. Just like that. And so now each line feeds into 1 crafter. That way we're maximizing how fast our crafters are working. And since each section of 3, if you can imagine, like, here's the start of each section here. Each one I want to keep isolated because it matters that I want the gold nuggets to feed into specific crafters. So instead of having a line of hoppers carry all the items across here, we're going to have a little loop. So at the start of each of our loops, we're going to have this feed in to the gold nugget chest. And then it's going to wrap around. And then it's going to go like that. So it's going to make a little loop going this way. And we're going to repeat that for each section. So it's going to go into the gold nugget chest and around. Oops. Just like this. You might be able to get away with not having these loops. I just tested it a couple times, and there were times where the sorter here could not handle items fast enough, and so the ones down here, if I created a hopper line going straight down, the sorters down here would end up with more nuggets, and my goal is to evenly distribute them amongst the crafters. So this way, it just keeps them in an isolated loop, and no matter what, it'll always only sort between these 3, even if it takes a couple of rotations to get around to each of them. On top of each of our gold nugget sections, which should be the arrows facing away from you, you can check down here in the hoppers where the nuggets are. You're going to place a hopper going down onto each of those. Out of this first section, we're going to build out 1, 2, 3. Then in this one, we're going to funnel into that one and then go 2 this way. So this third one is going to come out 2. Then it's going to come in 2 this way. And this one's sort of going to hug that one. Come out, follow there, just like this. And then it will go that way. We're going to build 2 going into that one. And then for our fourth funnel, 2 going this way. And 1, 2, 3, 4 going that way. Oh, this one needs 1 more. So you should end up with a 3x3 cube in the middle, and your hoppers should be facing these directions. Then for the inside of the cube, the way I chose to do it, just to evenly distribute, I had 2 going into each line, just like this. And then I figured that this first one has the smallest amount to travel, so he can have the extra one going that way. So your finished hopper lines should look like this. Next, you're going to place glass on the outside, going this way. So go 1, and then 3, then 1, and 3, 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So it should look like this. And we'll just build these up too tall for now. And that should be the entire machine completely done. Lastly, you can decorate this however you'd like. And last finishing touches, you can decorate this however you want. I chose to have stairs wrapping around the entire outside, like this, on the top of all the chests. Go and make sure that your crafters are empty. So yeah, sometimes it can get a little funky when we're building the redstone and whatnot. So just come through. Just gonna empty out all of these. And once those are empty, we can test our system by throwing a bunch of gold nuggets up here into each of our gold nugget systems. And this will go through the whole sorting system. You'll see this flick on and on as it gets one gold nugget at a time. And it should be, each of these should be receiving a nugget just as fast as the rest of them. They're coming down into the crafters, being crafted into ingots, where the ingots are slowly filling up to be crafted into blocks. And if we wanted, we could flick this at any time to change that into bartering mode. So now when this makes an ingot, it'll come along this way. And it'll start lighting up this system, distributing our gold. And don't forget, we have to place our redstone back here so that now the clock will activate. If you don't activate it at the exact right time, it might take a second to get the exact timing down, but it should fix itself automatically. And see, now the timing is right, where they throw their trades and then they get another piece of gold. And if we want to, we can change this back. So now the ingots will go to being crafted down here, and it'll go towards our gold blocks. The machine can get a little messed up like doing this if it doesn't have a constant flow of incoming items. Like I'm just having to put them in. So occasionally it'll try to craft a pressure plate. But once we build the second half of the machine, that should go away. That shouldn't be a problem. So this is just the sorting machine and the bartering machine. We haven't even built all the spawn platforms yet. So stay tuned for that, and we'll build that in part 2 to show you how to build all the spawning platforms. But thank you guys for watching. It's been a lot of fun trying my hand at a redstone tutorial video. I hope that it was easy to follow. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.